Welcome to Tonikaku Kawaii Fly Me to a Moon, a backstory to Tsukasa-chan from Tonikaku Kawaii, alright? A series that is very good, it's just that we can't read it right now because the current translators aren't translating it right now. Come on, you guys are 10 chapters behind, for God's sake. What's taking you guys so long? Now, I'm not saying we should overthrow them or stop using them because, they're getting unreliable. But have you heard of the Mandate of Heaven before? It's a very beautiful thing. No, it's not. What am I talking about? The Mandate of Heaven killed millions of people. But that doesn't matter right now, does it? I don't know, we could call it the Mandate of Manga, if the fan translators can't actually do what they're supposed to do, give actual good translations at a decent pace like the manga, then we just, stop using them and then find someone else that can do it. That sounds like a really bad idea. Don't do that. That's, I don't want to make it, the fan translators' jobs harder. But that doesn't matter right now. What am I talking about? What am I talking about? Overthrowing fucking translating groups. That's so dumb. We should actually get started. So, this is the like I said, this is the backstory to Tsukasa-chan, alright? And, this backstory actually, we might as well give you backstory in case you haven't, in case you've forgotten about this. Basically, NASA and Tsukasa-chan were talking as normal, and Tsukasa-chan basically just told NASA, hey, do you remember that, that one time where you were almost on the verge of death, right? And NASA's like, oh yeah, right, like, how you said you were gonna marry me, right? And Tsukasa-chan replies with, no, I mean, yeah, but like, the other parts. And then NASA's like, wait, there were other parts to this? And Tsukasa-chan gets very pissed, alright? Note to self, people, in case you have a wife or husband, always remember absolutely every single little thing that they said. That's sarcasm. Don't do that. Because, God knows what happens if, you completely forget about everything you said. So, she leaves, and NASA gets super worried, like, I guess a reasonable husband would. And basically, she just starts going in, figuring out, okay, what did I mess up, alright? What super specific thing that happened 2 years ago that, apparently she remembers that I don't, alright? And he finds out, right? And they meet up and they have their wholesome times, right? It's very nice. I just, apart from the fact that Tsukasa-chan is kind of acting like a douche, I'm gonna be honest here. Overall, that was a pretty nice, redemption arc for NASA, but, off to the backstory we go. Before we start off this, you should probably know the story of Kaguya and the bamboo cutter because it's very important to the story. In the backstory and in the main story, because we do have a character named Kaguya and she's kind of sus, alright? I don't know, either she's just a gag, either she's a red herring or just like, actually important to the story. I don't know. From the chapters that she's in, which isn't a lot, she seems very important, but we're talking too much into the future, alright? So, long story short, I'll give you the basic rundown of the Kaguya and the bamboo cutter. There's this bamboo cutter, alright? He wants to have a child, but can't because, apparently I think his wife isn't even fertile enough for that. So, he just does his normal things as everything does. So, he finds this bamboo. This bamboo is actually glowing, right? So he's like, alright, might as well cut it, shing shing, and opens it and finds a little girl inside the bamboo. The size of his thumb, alright? Thumb. This is a thumb, alright? And, he decides to take in the little girl and take care of it. Later, she starts growing, and she grows up to be a very beautiful young lady that everyone loves. So, the emperor, finds her and, he's like, oh, Mom, she's very pretty. I want to marry her. And that's what he wants to do, right? So he decides to prepare everything to, marry her, but that doesn't work out, right? Because Kaguya actually needs to go to the moon. I remember the one time when we all thought that Kaguya was Tsukasa-chan? Oh, that was a weird... I too was a great believer in that, and then Kaguya came out. That was a weird tangent into the Kaguya story, but that doesn't matter. So, she leaves, goes onto the moon, and gives on this elixir, and that's how the story ends normally from the Japanese, myth. But that's where our story begins. Not really. We're still somewhat in the story. So Skasa-chan asks her father, "Hey, what's that super big house over there near like the emperor's house, right?" And her dad basically explains, "Listen, that's the house of the bamboo cutter, right? You do know about Kaguya, right?" And Skasa-chan is like, "No, I have absolutely zero clue about Kaguya. She doesn't matter to me." Oh, what a naive child she was. And she doesn't really think too much into it, and she just decides to do her normal everyday things. All right, before she was married to NASA, and all that fun stuff. And she was actually just a random normal person, right? She was making medicine for people, giving it to people, and overall having a decent life. All right, that's all you really need to know about her. Then it cut to it being a different day, all right? It's not the same day. But this time, she's sick, all right? Keep that in mind, people. It's going to be very important. This time, she's also with a child as well, all right? Let's just say, though, that this child is not very cool, all right? He's not a good child, all right? He's a complete fucking rat. So, she asked her, "Hey, can doctors get sick?" Very nice foreshadowing there, Hana Sensei. You gotta love the foreshadowing from him. I'm not shitting on him. I absolutely adore him, alright? I love Hayate and Tonikaku Kawaii and the 100 Day series. They're all very great. But that doesn't matter right now. I'm saying that a lot. But, yeah. So, she's like... The child also tells her, "Hey, did you know that Kaguya is also getting married?" And Skasa-chan, like I said, she doesn't really care about Kaguya. She's like, "Oh, right. Who's she getting married to?" And the child explains to her and us, "No one, right? Because she gave out these super impossible tasks that no one can complete. Do you know why?" And then Scus is just like, "I don't know, maybe she already found someone that she really likes, like the Emperor or something. I don't know." And she's like, and the child's like, "Yeah, maybe," right? We also then cut to it being a different day or the same day, it doesn't really matter. Kaguya apparently tells the Emperor and the bamboo cutter, the bamboo cutter man and the wife, "Hey, I'm gonna leave, I'm gonna go to the moon, bye," and everyone in the town is like, gearing up to go to war with the fucking moon. I highly doubt this would really happen in real life, but that doesn't matter. I'm saying that a lot, holy fuck. Why do I keep saying that a lot? I don't know. Well, that's going on. Skasa-chan, she's dead, alright? She's almost dead, alright? She can't, the sickness, it caught up to her, obviously, because, when it happens when you don't treat yourself, you get caught and you die. That's a message to you anti-vaxxers. Dislike if you fucking didn't like that. Go take your vaccines. So, she's on her deathbed. She's like, "Oh, great, I'm gonna die at this young age," right? And, but then she's like, I did help a ton of people. I gave them medicine, and I did what, my duty in society. Overall, I feel pretty good, right? But she's still a little sad that her father isn't with her while she's going to die. But conveniently, the dad does come in, all right? And he's like, "Oh, okay, cool. I'm not gonna die alone, right?" But the dad gives her this weird magical drink. It's the immortality drink, all right? And it's the next day, and it's the next part of the chapter, all right? So she wakes up normal, and she's super confused, like, "Wait, why am I not dead?" Right? But that doesn't matter to her right now. Gotta do what you normally gotta do. And she proceeds to do everything that she normally did. But this time with the child, alright? This child is still not a cool child. He's a fucking rat. That's much later in the story, though. So, the child explains to her, "Hey, weren't you supposed to die, yesterday?" And Skasa-chan replies with, "Yeah, I know. I was supposed to die yesterday, but I didn't die yesterday." And, the child's like, "Why didn't you die?" And Skasa-chan just replies with, "I was given this magical elixir that saved my life," right? And the child's like, "Oh, okay, whatever, fine." And, gets shooed off by Skasa-chan because she doesn't want to deal with the child anymore. And plus, he's not even important to the story just yet. So she decides to, do her normal things, pick up her herbs from the mountains like you normally do. And this time, she actually slips and falls off the mountain and is just, she's about to hit the ground, right? She's thinking, "Oh, great, fantastic, what a beautiful way to die. I'm gonna die here, what a waste of my life." But she doesn't. she hits the ground and she's perfectly fine, all right? She's healed up and everything, right? And she's super confused, right? Because she's like, wait, wasn't I supposed to die? So he grabs her sword and basically starts slitting herself, slitting her wrist, not in a suicidal way, just in a way to test, hey, aren't I supposed to be dead? And her arms heal. And then she just gets into a blackout, like you normally do when you cut yourself, all right? We're explained in the little blackout or in the dream that the dream wasn't actually a dream. So, like I said, the father did give her a magical drink, and we find out that the reason she's alive is because, like I said, the dad gave her the drink, and she was burning. All right, we get shown like a picture of her just burning. Her bones are just on fire and stuff. She's like, "Why, Father? Why must you do me this?" Right? And then she gets knocked out of the blackout. So she's like, "Oh, okay, that's what happened," and runs off to her dad to basically just ask him, what'd you do to me? Right? So she goes to her father and explains to her, hey, what did you do to me? What you give me? Right? And the father's like, listen, I gave you immortality drink. All right? And then we get the explanation for the immortality drink. Basically, Kaguya gave, like I said, Kaguya told the emperor and the bamboo cutters, hey, I'm going to be leaving to the moon. See you guys. I'll give you this immortality drink, so when I eventually come back, you guys can drink it. You guys are alive. But they didn't want that because they didn't want to live their entire lives without their loved ones. So they gave it to the next best person, the emperor's trusted advisor, Skasa-chan's father. All right. And the emperor basically just asked him, hey, go up to the highest mountain, burn it, no one wants it, right? Normally, in Japan's culture, weird thing is you're supposed to follow what your higher-ups do and stuff, but at this time, the father was kind of desperate, right? Because he did know that his daughter was almost dead, but he had to serve the emperor because apparently his daughter's lives doesn't matter. So he runs off to find his daughter that's basically on a deathbed, gives her the drink. Ergo, that's why she's immortal. I said, she goes, father explains, yada, yada, yada. The father's kind of sad, like, yeah, I kind of gave you the immortality drink. I'm sorry. And Skasa-chan replies with, but I didn't want the immortality drink. So, it's not really going great in the Skasa-chan house, all right? So she decides to go into the town. And everyone in the town just is looking at her weird. Apparently, they figured out that she's immortal, all right? I don't know who told her, though. But that doesn't matter right now, all right? Because we're told much later who it is anyways. So, everyone's like, oh, did you hear? Did you hear that she fell off the cliff and survived? Oh, I heard that, Skasa-chan's father gave her the drink that, he was supposed to burn, right? And then, out of nowhere, the fucking child, all right? You remember that one child? Yeah, that child ratted her out, all right? Just like I said, don't love that fucking child. That child is the literal definition of a rat, all right? So he just goes around town just basically telling everyone, hey guys, yeah, what you heard is true. She's immortal. I saw her fall off the cliff and, almost die, but she was perfectly fine, right? And they all figured out that, because apparently they believe in the story where if you eat an immortal's flesh, you're perfectly fine. So basically what they're about to do is kill her to, get her flesh and, so they all feel better, right? So basically there's just this super huge mob gathering around all because of that fucking child that's trying to kill Skasa-chan. She tries to run away to her house, but fun fact, that house is already burning and her father is dead and his head is on a pike. So, can we get F's in chat to Skasa-chan's father? An absolute disappointment of a father, but that doesn't matter. So, and Skasa-chan gets overwhelmed and gets chained, right? And she's, she's tied up. She's going to get cut up because, everyone wants a piece of her because they all want to, not get sick, right? And, she has a dilemma like, hey, these were people that, I helped. I gave them medicine, They all treated me well. Is this really how they saw me, right? So she's like, all right, fuck you all. And, cuts her arm off with her sword that she had, which apparently no one checked her out. All right, whatever. and she cuts her arm and basically dual wields. She fights everyone. All right, and we cut to her in a field with her bleeding. All right, yeah, we can safely assume that Tsukasa-chan just killed her entire village. Now, I'm not saying that they deserved it. There was probably a bunch of mothers and childs there as well, but we're not here to contemplate that, alright? Just like we did with the World War II Japanese atrocities. Tsukasa-chan, she's walking away from all her, the fact that she basically killed an entire village. So, she's just walking. She wants to die, but she can't because her body's, immortal. And it's now the night, and the fucking full moon, all right? It's right up there and everything, right in front of her, right? Like he was just taunting her, okay? And she looks at the moon, and she's like, why? Why, Kaguya? Why did you do this to me? Why did you have to come here? Why did you have to give, the Emperor and stuff the fucking elixir, right? She's blaming Kaguya for all her problems, which you should probably be blaming your father, but he's already dead now, all right? So she's crying even more. She's like, I'm going to find you one day. I'm going to find you. I'm going to force you to, make me mortal. But then she realizes, wait, how the hell am I going to get up to the moon, right? So she starts crying even more because like, oh, great, fantastic. I'm never going to get this done, right? So, and then there's this weird hooded man just comes along. We get told who this person is, and I'm about to give you a Japanese history lesson. His name is Umayado, and also known as Prince Shotoku. Go search him up, alright? I don't even know if I said the names correctly, and I apologize. So he was the son of, I think, the 31st or the 32nd or the 33rd Emperor of Japan, alright? During the Asuka period, alright? We also get reference to the Sui dynasty from China. That didn't last long, apparently. Wikipedia told me so. So, his dream is to basically have a unified Japan, alright? So, in case the mainlanders, also known as China, and the Mongols were to come, they would be ready to defend themselves. That happened, yes, and that didn't go well for the Mongols, and then the Japanese decided to do that, and then that's where the whole concept of comfort women came in. But I'm not talking about Japanese atrocities, or I'm just a simple weeaboo that must always follow the word of Japan. He's like, listen, Tsukasa, I'll have one of my descendants help you out in, getting the moon, getting to the moon and stuff, right? Tsukasa-chan, she doesn't really believe in him, because, like, that shit ain't gonna happen, right? Come on, don't think smart, alright? But she's like, alright, fine, sure, I'll help you out in, making her whole little nation thing, right? And then, then that's the end of Tsukasa-chan's backstory. And there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That is the backstory of Tsukasa-chan, one of the best waifus of all time, alright? Later cut to her just sitting there at a bench, right? Just looking at this, I think, 10,000 yen dollar bill, an old one, right? Of Prince Shotoku's face on it, alright? Very nice, right? And NASA, comes in and is like, oh, wait, I know that. That's the one super popular person, right? And Tsukasa-chan replies with, well, yes, but that's not how he looks like in the slightest, right? Because, she's immortal. She obviously knows what he looks like, right? And, NASA's like, yeah, sure, all right, whatever, right? We're also told, weird story, that apparently NASA looked very similar to Prince Shotoku, right? So, it might just be getting my fan theories in, but, I just have a small feeling that Ness is kind of related to Prince Shotoku. I don't know. I don't know. That line might be a red herring. I don't know. Hada really likes his red herrings. You should go see Hayate the Combat Butler. There's a lot of red herrings in that one. But anyways, that has been the end of Tonikawa, Fly Me to the Moon, Tsukasa-chan's backstory. Overall, an amazing backstory, except if you don't count the part where, she killed her entire village and possibly mothers and children's, Don't dwell too much on that. Anyways, I really don't know how to end videos, and I hope that you did enjoy, so goodbye.